Little trap jaw. I do not have, I know that there's like a ring that comes with him. I've had some shots at that and just opted that I didn't really care. Now I don't know if in confessing that like is starting to bother me that I don't have that, but you know, figure it all out. Here's one that, from watching enough live sales, I know is highly fragile. Some of these tails they make for these guys too, you know, like. I know with him it's kind of this clip on his back, and it looks like it's hanging on by a thread too. Also his helmet. I'm actually somewhat nervous about even considering putting him in this bin. He does work. Get the air out of this bag and fold him over a few times and lay him in there gingerly and say a little prayer to the Motu gods. Now, legit, as much as I hated that movie, how badass is Blade? Like, I just, dude, when I got this figure, I mean, this is like another level of bad. Like, I mean, like, I was probably watching wrestling at that time, and I don't know, he reminds me of a wrestler called the Warlord, who wasn't really all that successful, but again, just from a looks standpoint, was total badass, whether you're talking Powers of Pain era or you're talking afterwards when he's wrestling the Bulldog at Mania 7 and managed by the Doctor of Style Slick. It's just a dude not to be reckoned with. And when Blade came, man, he was something of an enforcer and equalizer on the bad guy's side of my figures. He was one that was not the one you wanted to mess with. This one took me a little while to get clean and complete, also from Alan. I'm thinking about in my display having Ram Man just busting through this dude, if I can figure out how to effectively display that. You know, that's kind of the gimmick with this figure, and I support it fully. Man, I'm afraid to pull this hose out of his back. Bust him up. There we go. Not the best special power to have, I guess, to explode on demand, but you know, everybody can't be the strongest man in the universe, so you know, you gotta work with what you got. I've been talking for 43 minutes, man. I bet you nobody has watched this video up to this point, but I figure I'm already at 43 minutes. Why stop here? I thought, oh man, have I been talking for like 20 minutes? I'll shut this thing off. A little longer than that, brother. And I'm stuck. This was a dude that it was important to me to get him in a particular condition. I did not want to rip apart that backpack, and it still makes me a little bit nervous. Hopefully we've prevented any tangles or knots. He will travel safely to his new home. I tell you, that diorama that I plan on doing is gonna be some next level shit. If I can do it the way that I want to do it. Admittedly, I'm not, particularly crafty or handy, so I'm gonna be venturing into some uncharted territory. I feel like this is like the character like Whiplash. Correct me if I'm wrong. If there's Whiplash fans out there, you tell me to shut my mouth, because he just doesn't move the needle for me, man. I just don't like. He's like frontline bad guy, like first to get killed, I think. He's just not a guy that's like. He's not new enough to be cool. He's not old enough to be the original. He's like, that might not even be fair to him either to say, like, he just, I don't associate him, closely with Skeletor the way I would for Merman or Beastman, and like, I don't give him the nod of being like Hordak or Blade or Dragster even, like, I think probably a lot of people would say that's blasphemy that I think Dragster is cool, but it's a cool looking figure, dude. I dig him. Weapons pack. And again, I said Eternia Dreams. There's the number. It looks backwards because I am in a front-facing camera here. So, I don't know. Probably not specifically helpful for you guys, but that's the go-to for Motu, my friends. That is the store. That is where I got my Eternia from. I actually bought it at Toy Palooza in Pittsburgh, which they actually had today, and I didn't make it out to. But I bought it at one of those. Here's a guy I had as a kid. That gold hand, man. The gold chop. It's not the one to be messed with. Jitsu and Ninjor, man. That's an alliance for the ages. But man, Alan has, if you're looking for Eternia, it's one of the holy grail, things to collect, and it's one of those things that like you can't find. It doesn't exist, and if it does, it's like it's beat up, and it's the main tower, and it's you're not finding it in the way that you want to find it, and then this dude comes along selling, saying he's going to be the Motu guy, and that's quite a statement, and he needs to back it up. So what does the dude do? He gets like 20 Eternias or something ridiculous. I'm going to guess that even like right now as I'm filming this, I'm guessing that he has probably at least 5 for sale in varying levels of completeness and quality. All that just for Orko. Yeah, man. If your dream is to go, and that's what he calls it, Eternia Dreams. If your dream is to go all the way with this line, nothing wrong with starting at the top, man. Get an Eternia, pay that shit off. He does payment plans, and once you're past that that stage, it's all gravy, right? To get everything else. I mean, like a lot of these, figures, some of them are pricey, don't get me wrong, especially after like the Toys That Made Us and different things like that. Like you're not gonna get Randor for $16. But man, some of these figures are $16, $20, $12. I mean, like I watch him do these lives. He says throw out an offer. Dude pushes a lot of Motu. When it comes to Eternia Dreams, as a concept, I mean, like he's living the dream. And I mean, he worked for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say this with any, kind of, but like, how awesome is it to put in your notice and walk away from somebody else being your boss and say, I am going to sell Masters of the Universe from this point forward. And the cool thing too about getting an Eternia, besides the fact that it just looks rad, is you get it in that varying stage of completeness or whatever. Like, I mean, I feel like, don't get me wrong, I got the money in it, by the time it's all said and done. But when I bought it, because it wasn't complete, like, it did pretty well, on what it cost at the time. How on earth I decided to buy the laser power Skeletor in the same day, no financial advisor is gonna recommend that, but either of those purchases probably, but man, I did well on it. I knew I had a ways to go. I'm still working on it, as I said, but in the end, when I see one that comes along that's like more complete than mine, the way that just the market moves, I think I did pretty well. I'm happy with that purchase. Maybe someday I've toyed with the idea of moving all this. Like, I mean, I really have. It's a blessing to have it. It's amazing to have. It's cool as shit. The display I want to do will be awesome, but it will be just that. It'll be a display. So I've kind of thrown around the idea at times of like, man, what if I just sold the whole thing? Like what would I get for it? What would be the value? But you best believe, if it ever comes down to that and somebody's like, oh man, I'm gonna make like a sick deal because he's selling a whole collection, he's not parting this thing out, you are wrong, sir, because if I ever sell this, you are getting full retail on every single individual piece of it, and you're getting the equity I put into collecting it all. Like, this is something that if I ever move, it's not because I don't want it anymore or I don't love it. It's just because I've moved on to other interests or whatever, but I don't see it being something that would have a lot of equity necessarily to future generations. I don't know. I don't have kids anyway, so I don't see it like going into a will for me or something. Just be like the creepy old guy down the road that has like a lot of Masters of the Universe toys or whatever. Or I don't know, maybe the cool guy down the road that has all the Masters of the Universe toys, depending on how old the kids are. But kind of like the Sandlot, when James Earl Jones is like the scary old dude in the house up until they meet him, and then they're like, oh, he's nice. It's probably the direction my life is going. I get to terrify children up until they hit a ball in my yard, and I can only hope to have a dog that's nearly half as sweet as that one. But Extendar with the power. Oh, I broke him. To extend. Interesting the things they came up with, you know, as they went along. Again, not one from my childhood years, but still happy to have it. Colors are rad. I like with the pearl and gold look that he has going there. Well, if you like Motu, I probably didn't rock your world here. I got a few extra pieces that I'm probably going to bag up tonight, so I'll pick this up and kind of try to show those off over in the Gray Skull area. And I can't see what I'm doing because, like I said, it's a front-facing camera at this point. I could probably flip it around and be less of an a-hole, but nope, I can't figure it out. Anyways, Gwildor, Sorceress, Man-E-Faces, Stratos, Man-at-Arms, Buzz-Off, Mossman, tons of vehicles, the rest of Eternia, if you couldn't have seen it, the Multi-Bot and Modulog, Snake Mountain, here's the thing, there's my Fright Zone, got some vehicles back there on the shelf, 2 Fright Fighter, and oh, Mephisto's up there. Oh, Mechanex's up there. See, I'm not even fully aware of what I'm doing, but I'll walk over here to the next room and end with some sweet stuff. Here's all my wrestling stuff, which also needs to go. This is just, with the exception of Hogan, up on top. Just the heels. Baby faces and heels can't be in the same cabinet, you know, for those Toy Story rules. I don't want to deal with that, but going all the way down, AWA Remco's in the back, some grails there, you know, just some cool stuff. But for the Motu interested folks, Wonder Bread He-Man laser, all the He-Mans, like I said, all the Hordex, like I said, all the Skeletors, like I said. There's also a Sheik AWA Remco in there. Body type wise, he fits in beautifully. So, you know, will we have the Sheik versus He-Man, or the AWA invasion of the Motu universe? Quite possibly. But anyways, thank you for watching this. Hope it wasn't too boring. Hope you're into the kind of stuff that I like. All this stuff will be set up once again someday, and I intend on doing an unboxing and a final look at what it all looks like when I have it all done. So it was cool just talking through it and sharing with you, and feel free to leave a comment. I'll throw my Instagram or Facebook or Twitter kind of stuff somewhere, so maybe we can give a shout. If you have a Laser Light Skeletor, if you have a Scotty 2 Hottie Bend'em, and I'm talking these guys in the back here, those kind of Bend'ems. If you have the original belt and like headscarf thing for the Sheik, you know, talk to me. If you got the Hasbro bagged and sealed Brett and Taker mailaways, talk to me. I'm a buyer and I don't play around. Thank you for watching my video. I guess my fat ass is in the background of the thing, so it was nice talking to you, and I'll see you next time.